from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. I love a bit of morning magic, mate.
Hello, everybody. We have order in the studio now. And I'm here with the wonderful Marad, who is a singer from Wales. You're also, you've been on television, used to do like musical theatre. You're just a creative. So I'm going to ask you a few questions today. Thank you for being here with me in the studio. It is actually nice that I've started off, because you give me spring energy.
Ooh, I think what? My birthday's in spring.
Is it?
So maybe that's why.
When is your birthday?
It was March the 7th.
Okay, so it's just been, I mean, technically by like the general monthly
calendar.
split up. Yeah. I mean, we'll say you're a spring baby.
All right.
What's your sign then?
Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you watery.
I know.
And that's why we like each other, because I'm a Scorpio, and like there's a whole thing. We're not getting into star signs here today, okay? We can do that another time. But yeah, so I just want to pick your brain essentially, because I just think you're a wonderful artist. I saw you at Tavoil, because I remember hearing you sing Sera Beaux. Right, and I was like, I love that song. That's what I want to sing on The Voice.
Yeah.
Right? So and I did sing it on The Voice.
did.
I did. It wasn't like we're gonna like not talk about that.
Okay.
No, it was. You shared it though, so that was really nice.
Did,
you know.
yeah. I feel like that song as well is so hard because it's like such a piano-heavy song that any different arrangement, I would say, would maybe just throw someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't get. There's a whole lot of stuff that happened there. Yeah, so we can't. I think I'm not contracted to say stuff, but it is a hard song to sing because it is musical theatre. I am musically theatre trained, and I think what I learned recently when I was sort of singing in the studio and stuff is not to push your voice too much. I'd only do that when you actually can in the song. Do you know what I mean? So, but the nerves as well sometimes do get to you.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm glad you thought I did it some justice given the circumstances.
Also, I love that you, in my head, it's like not musical theatre, but like I guess elements of it are.
Yeah,
like the way
it's quite
it's quite cinematic.
It is cinematic.
Gwenelle wrote the piano and the track for it, and so I think coming in and like writing on top of that, it was during lockdown, so we weren't able to like get in a room together, was quite a fun process, because normally I feel like you'd sit in, I would like co-write something, whereas it was a co-write, but we did it in like stages.
Oh my
which
gosh.
was quite fun, but yeah. So
that's really, it's so interesting to me that you did it during lockdown and it wasn't like something you did together, because like it's just such a beautiful song. And I remember so I got into like the media industry in Cardiff through Mali. That's how we met, right? Like cool. Tavoil, we did the Royal Welsh.
Yeah.
That's how we saw each other. And I was just like, oh my God, it's Sarah. Literally, it's so silly. Do you know when you like, I wasn't, because I don't usually get like, you know, sort of like starstruck or by people. But I was just a little bit like, oh my God, it's Mara. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God, that's so
and
funny.
I said to you yesterday, didn't I? I was like, the next time I see you, we'll have a picture together, because we didn't have one last time. I took one of you in Mali.
Yeah.
And then it's actually ended up being a whole interview. So that's mad.
Yeah, I love
that's
that.
absolutely madness. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing that song, Sera Beaux. Yeah, Mali was like, look at some Welsh music, and I found like Kizzy Crawford, and I found other people who are doing songs as well. Yeah. But I found that, and I was like, I can't believe this exists, and it's in Welsh. So yeah, that's a beautiful song. I'm glad I did it, and I will probably do a little rendition of it again, just so I can like put it out there and go, I can sing it, guys. Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's talk about you now and your career and like what you're doing at the moment. So, what would you say like your genre is, and what's like influenced that?
I would say my genre is sort of ever changing, but the stuff that I've released already, I think I would call it like pop folk, with a bit of soulfulness in it. And I think, I don't know where that comes from, but I grew up on, I guess, my parents' music and listening to people like Eva Cassidy, Otis Redding, and like big singers. And so I think I came into the world of songwriting from the singer's perspective, and then since then I think I've been influenced by a lot of different genres. But I'd say my music is like the music that I haven't released but is ready to be released soon is going a bit in a different direction.
Okay,
I think.
yeah.
Not massively different, but like it feels quite new to me. It's a bit more indie folk rather than like big like belty singing soul pop stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to like see. It's a bit of an experiment.
Yeah, definitely. But like that's what artists do, right? And I think
Yeah.
if you just did the same thing your whole career, you might not. You might like release amazing songs, like we've got Pabaunin Reed, which we'll play and stuff, you know. But you might never know what your actual hit would be if you don't keep, experimenting and changing. And you can always go back, can't you, really, if it's what sticks. Yeah. And also, like, you can't always just do what the people love. You have to do it for who you are. And you're a growing, ever-changing, like, developing, blossoming, young person. So just makes sense. So, how did you find your sound, and what experiences, like, have shaped you so far, like, as a person?
I think I've always performed live, and I think I've kind of found my sound a bit through like trial and error live and like singing really badly and playing.
It's not just me.
I feel like you have to go through it, like test the waters, and when you listen to yourself back, you're like, that's not what I want to do, but I've done it. So you kind of, I think it's all trial and error, and with my sound, I think it really depends on the producer you're working with as well. Like you might write a song that is, I've written songs that are really folky, and then they've turned out, the production has like made them really poppy, which is really cool. There's sort of like endless options for songs, but I think definitely playing with musicians and friends at university really inspired me, because the way they were playing was so different. I went to Leeds, and there's quite a big like soul jazz scene there, and I think the way that my co-musician friends were playing was like really exciting, because I hadn't really been surrounded by that sound growing up, and I think I learned a lot from other people's playing, and I still learn from them now, and just sharing different music with each other. I think influenced by friends is a good one as well.
That's a really nice thing to do, because I know a lot of people will be sort of like gatekeeping about their own. You can't you, about your own sound, but once you start playing with live bands and collaborating, you have to give that leeway for other musicians to also flourish within that space, right? Yeah. And it's just, it's all about co-creation.
Definitely.
I literally just like, I love that you're here. I'm just gassed that you're here. Okay, so what question did I have? I did have one in my head. So, okay. So did you start off doing sort of like Welsh stuff? Because we talked a little bit earlier. Can you just go back and like remind me about sort of like school, the Eisteddfod, and like how that went, how your career went into like musical theatre, and then where you are now?
Yeah. So I think I didn't actually grow up listening to Welsh language music. I speak Welsh with my parents, but weirdly they don't speak Welsh with each other, because my mum's second language Welsh, and she kind of learns it through me. So I think I just didn't have Welsh language music playing, and I didn't realise it was a thing until I think Brwydyr y Bandiau, so Battle of the Bands, came into our school when I was a teenager, and I was in like this rock band, and they wanted...
Married in a rock band.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that might happen?
What, soon?
Yeah. Should we start a rock band?
Oh, that'd be great.
Would you actually do that?
I had a great time. We were called the Troops, and we got to record an album and stuff, and like I think the opportunity, there was more opportunities in the Welsh language for me, and so I wrote for those opportunities, and so I ended up writing music to play live, because a lot of the gigs that I was doing were Welsh language only, or majority Welsh language only, whereas actually before that I think I was writing in English. So it's quite an interesting, like, I feel like I'm now going back into like bilingualism and like
Wenglish.
I'm just like, actually, because that's how I live my life, like, is fully just bilingual all the time. And so I think it's important to have that represented in music, and just having both languages. And even like when I was living in London, I'd love singing songs in Welsh, and like I think people find it intriguing.
They're so beautiful, aren't they? Like, I really just love the way that Welsh even sounds.
Yeah.
Even if people are like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, it really is a very beautiful language, and we are a country of song and music as well. I feel so blessed that I learned, you know, that I've had the language in my life as well. And also like. It is important. Like, I think what I've found is that if you can speak Welsh, it does help push you a lot further within, you know, Wales as well, which does, you can get yourself pushed to the top, and then that works for you on a sort of like national level then as well, which is, you know,
I think
nice.
so. I think I've personally found I've had a lot of support, and then but sometimes it's hard to then navigate what's next, and like how do you keep the same audience coming back. So obviously like releasing more music and stuff. But I love the Welsh language scene is like so exciting at the moment.
It's beautiful.
And
isn't it?
it's really like there's a lot more genres now than when we started in that rock band, and it's just, and there's a lot more women on the scene, and it's just like it's really exciting to see that growing.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see what happens with Welsh language music in terms of like the Afrobeat song that I've got, and like just bringing that to the mix as well, you know.
Exactly.
And I know you got like Dom and Lloyd and stuff, and like I think people like that as well doing the whole like rappy sort of like grimy vibes. And then you so when you started off, you said you did performing arts or musical theatre at uni.
So I did music at Leeds, and then I didn't know what career path I wanted to go down, because I kind of, the idea of like freelancing and being an artist kind of freaked me out a little bit, even though I knew I always was going to do that anyway. So I went to do a master's in musical theatre in London, a year-long master's, and then just sort of did this intensive musical theatre training course, which was really fun and quite a good intro to London, because I had structure and
you would have had a community already.
Yeah, exactly. So it was quite nice to be introduced to London in that way.
Yeah, like London's a nice place. Like it's interesting how you can like go to London and like experience like different vibes. Like you would have had like musical theatre, probably like classier like versions of London. Yeah. Whereas I was in South Tottenham in this like crazy church doing like crazy house parties and like you know, just it was a different vibe. Okay. So we talked a little bit about Welsh language and like all that kind of stuff. So what has been the most rewarding aspect of your career so far?
Good question. I'd say, I think releasing my album in lockdown was a bit crazy because it was like a bit of an anticlimax. But then the year after, I was lucky to get the Welsh Album of the Year award. Wow. And that prize was to sing some of my songs with the BBC Now Orchestra, actually just across the road. So I think hearing my songs played by an orchestra was really cool. Yeah, that's honestly like, that would be up there. Oh, that's so nice. Like, really cool. Honestly. And your music is like essentially perfect for that kind of vibe as well. Yeah, I was just like, it was nice to hear an arrangement for, it was so different, and also like to hear it all acoustically and like, I think having someone else make the arrangement was really cool because it meant I got to hear my songs. I would have cried. I'm not gonna lie, I would have been like, I was emotional. It would have been like Titanic or something. I would have been like, I'm welling up now. I'm so empathetic. Honestly, the empathy is mad. Do you know what I mean? I get that as well. Okay, so if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would that be? Oh my God. You could do one dead and one alive. Why not? I would say, I think it would be cool to just be a fly on the wall in like the process of Joni Mitchell writing a song. Okay. I think it'd be really cool to just like see the process, because the way she writes is so like, the accompaniment is such a big part of the song. It's not just about the chords, and it's like everything is so like put together and carefully thought about. And I don't know who the other the dead one would be.
Okay, you can choose another alive person. I'll give you
another alive person.
a lifeline.
This is when people ask me these questions, I feel like I go home and then I think of a better answer.
I'm just like, me, collab with me. Yeah. No, you got to hear what I'm doing first. Just like, come on, let's do some Afro beats, man.
I don't know. I feel like I want to go for someone random. Like, I don't know, like Rufus Wainwright or something.
Okay. What can you remind me of like a couple of Rufus Wainwright songs?
Oh God. My mind has.
Oh, it's okay.
Frozen.
I will. Do you know what I'll do? I'll play some Rufus Wainwright over the weekend just for you, and I'll get myself a little bit, and some Joni Mitchell as well. So if you are
timeless music, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And do you know what actually like fries my brain a little bit is that we are moving into so much different music, and there's so many different genres, and so many people are making music now, right? I mean, like Spotify is basically a platform that makes you like 0.000 pennies, right? Yeah. And it's really hard to get gigs and stuff nowadays, all that kind of stuff. But back then, like, it was so fresh and so new that everyone was who created a sound really created it out of nothingness.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're all inspired by someone. Yeah. The sound's been kind of done before in a way, right? So these people were like actually weaving magic in real life, you know. And it's not that we're not doing that as artists now. We still are, but it was the beginning, wasn't it, of all of that stuff.
Like those sort of Laurel Canyon days, I would have loved to be around and just seeing how that all works, but I feel like they were probably much more influenced by the live music, like the whole I've forgotten what was it, like the coffee house scene, or like New York, and like the folk scene that was very much aligned with like politics and like protest music. I think all that sort of live stuff, it must have been so like influential.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, because the culture within it. And I think nowadays, like, there's a place for all sorts of music, isn't there, really? Like, I mean, if you just want to sing a song with one word in it, you can, as long as it's funky enough. But do you know Annie DeFranco at all?
No, I recognise the name.
Oh, okay, so I grew up listening to Annie DeFranco, and I think if you like that kind of like Brooklyn, like coffee, political woman, badass sort of. She's got a record label called Righteous Babe, and I grew up completely influenced by Annie DeFranco. Cool. I got to meet her once and stuff. So I think she might. I think you'd enjoy her process actually, and like some of her music. Yeah. Great. I know. Yeah, I'll send you some. Yeah. Okay, so. Tell us like a gig story that you have. So like, what's the weirdest or funniest thing that's ever happened to you on stage or at a gig?
I can't think of a gig one.
Okay.
But in terms of theatre, can I think of a gig one?
It's all right.
There must be a lot of stuff that's happened, a lot of weird stuff, like, you know, like sound issues cutting out, or like but the one thing that I can think about is when I was in a show in London, I was in Les Mis and I was covering the character of Eponine. Oh, nice. And I had a big, like, frumpy skirt on. Yeah. And you had to, like, run down this tiny, like, piece of set. Yeah. So you started up high, and I ran down it, and my skirt, like just stayed upstairs.
Oh no!
And it got caught on this like railing, and it was like quite rough texture. Yeah. Set. Yeah. And it was like my skirt was like up, but I was still wearing it, but it was like up in the air. And the guy who was playing Marius, who I had a scene with at the time, just was like, looked at it and just, I was trying to pull it as I was like singing. I can't remember what the words are. And then he looked and just like yanked it down, and he sorted me out. But those like live moments, I think audiences love to see those. Yeah, I think they actually do. But like, it's quite hot on the stage then when they happen. Yeah. You gotta be a certain kind of like a carefree kind of person, I think. I was quite flustered, but it was,
I can imagine. That's so. Thanks for sharing that one with us. Okay, and so we had a little chat as well. So about stuff like happening in the industry, like the way that things are going in the future. Mm-hmm. So like, what's next for you, like moving forward? You said that you were doing some new styled songs and stuff. You've been teasing those on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I think I've teased one of them, I think. And then I was lucky to get the Horizons Launchpad funding last year.
That's great.
And I finally put that into fruition. It took a lot of organising because I applied for money to fund a live EP, and there's 7 people in my band, so just getting everyone free on the same 2 days, and the studios and everything, and the videographer and the sound engineer was just a bit of a nightmare. But we finally did it in January, and that has been mixed now, and it's sounding really fun, and I'm releasing that in May. So that's just an EP of songs that I've already released, but the live band sound.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah, we got to record on a boat in Greenwich.
Oh.
It was like a studio on a boat called Lightshift. It was really cool.
You have to tell me about that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was actually the sound engineer's recommendation, and I just got there, and it was like one of those days where it's like blue skies, big red boat. There was a bridge that came up and down, and you had to wait for it to come down to walk over to get onto the boat. And there was a big live room, a control room, and it was kind of weird because the boat was rocking,
bobbing up and down.
Yeah, when we were recording, not massively, but it definitely enough for you to be singing and being like, this feels really odd.
Was it a sicky odd, or was it a...
Yeah, it was just a bit of a nauseous, because there was no windows in the live room, and we were just is it moving? Is it not? It was that subtle.
I see, I get it.
But yeah, it was just such a fun day. My band, I was just glad to get the whole band free, and we're all such good friends, and it was just a really nice day, because we've been playing these songs for
Are they videoed as well? Did you
Yeah, we did. We videoed 3 of them, and they've just been recorded all in one take, and it was quite interesting to not be a perfectionist and not go back and redo little bits that didn't really need to be done.
I think that's something. Do you find that, because I'm the same?
Yeah.
There's that perfectionism that comes with being an
Yeah,
artist.
yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and you can listen to something and go, well, I can add that. Listen to something. And go,
Yeah.
someone says something and you're like, oh, maybe I should. But it was okay the way it was. And you've
Yeah.
kind of got to stay true to your art. Like you said, you've learned from a lot of your live performances.
Yeah.
What you can fix and what you can't. So
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Would you agree that it's they're kind of perfect as they are?
Yeah, I think also I feel in lockdown I did so much sitting down and re-recording because I had the time that it almost put me in a place of perfectionism that doesn't need to exist, especially when you're recording live stuff. And I think having the live sound was really important to me, and bringing those songs to life was what I wanted to do. And I think we've done it. I'm really excited to just share it, and it'll be really useful to have, to send to people as well. So
that's amazing, honestly. This whole, I'm really excited to just see from what you just said, what they sound like, hear what they sound like, see the location and things like that as well. I'm guessing, have you got pictures from it as well that you're going to put up, or did you take some before? I need to look more at your
I
profile.
haven't really posted much about it yet because I was kind of waiting to announce it and stuff.
Okay, so it's just been announced on
Yeah,
Native
yeah,
Radio.
yeah.
In our lovely talks together. So what's next for you now? What are your upcoming projects? The summer is happening.
Yeah.
What are you manifesting? What gigs and live things have you got planned?
Yeah, I've always wanted to play Green Man, so
amazing.
I need to apply for that.
Yeah.
But I hope maybe the live tracks will help with that. I don't know. I always wanted to play that, and then I've got quite a busy summer doing Tavoil and the Eisteddfod and stuff, and I've got new music coming out in autumn, and I'm planning a tour at the moment for that. And yeah, I just had a weekend of recording lots of different instruments on some of my new tracks. So going a bit different, going more live. So I recorded my friend playing clarinet, marimba, vibraphone. It's very live and I basically just got all my friends to play on it, and it feels quite nice.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that's really nice that you can do that. Like, it's nice to hang out and like make music together.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and it's wholesome. Yeah, and there's something. Yeah, that it's wholesome, and music's such like a medicinal healing thing. You know, so so you mentioned a tour.
Yeah.
So like, what is your tour going to be? Just Wales? Is it going to be national? Is it going to be international?
No, I'm still organising it. I definitely, I'm going to do a Cardiff, London, North Wales, maybe Leeds, maybe Manchester, but like keeping it like quite small venues and just basically introducing like the new music.
Yeah, and yourself to like other parts of.
Yeah.
Have you done gigs in those places before?
Yeah, I played quite a lot in London when I lived there because I recently just moved away from London. So yeah, I want it to be like cool. I want the locations to be cool and just like small and just a chance to play the new tunes live for the first time, basically.
Amazing. Yeah. So today I have to play to everybody listening and everybody watching as well. I have Pebaunin Rhydd, which is a beautiful song. I do find myself humming the melody to that quite a lot, actually.
Sorry about that.
So I'm gonna. That was loud. And I've got your live sort of like London flat version of Better Late Than Never.
Cool.
Also, your backing singers a slap.
Yeah.
Just saying. I saw them at Tav Royal. They're like...
Yeah, they're so great. You know what? I've actually got a really cool pool of people now. Miriam and Mabley are like the OGs.
Marad, Miriam and Mabley.
I know.
Oh my gosh, Triple M.
Yeah, they're the OGs and they're amazing. And then I've also... My sister sometimes does BBs, and then my housemate in London and also other friends. So it's really nice. Harmonies is such a big part of my music.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it.
To create
I think
that
comes from the Eisteddfod in me, to be honest. So
it comes from the Welsh, like it's the Welsh blood in it. We love a bit of choir, we love a bit of like it's beautiful and ethereal and all of those things. So can you tell me a little bit about Pebaunin Rhydd?
Yeah.
Just because I've watched the video and I've listened to it, and from what my interpretation of it was, and I had this same sort of feeling when I was growing up. It's about little Marad. Yeah. And it's about little Marad having a dream.
Yeah.
And sort of like, it's a talk about like freedom maybe, and like breaking into that freedom of what you want to do, and how like older Marad is now like sort of doing that and experiencing that freedom.
Yeah, I think weirdly the video came after the song, and I think I wrote the song about wanting to like be able to be open with someone, and just I wanted them to see the real me sort of thing, but didn't quite know how to do that. And then working with Loop and Owain from Loop and Miriam, who did the styling and stuff on it.
Yeah, I know Miriam,
Yeah, we kind of just like brought it to life in a different way, and it was really cool to like come up with a concept to elevate the song. And it just turned into this like really fun, silly day, like me in front of green screens.
Yeah,
like,
I know. I was like, yo, there's some green screens happening in here.
Going on. And little Lottie, who plays the younger version of me, was so good. Honestly, I felt like I like would do my scene and then she'd go up and like smash it, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's a little star. She was amazing.
That's
so
awesome.
It's just a really fun day.
Yeah. Really fun day.
Yeah.
So it's about that sort of vulnerability and like not wanting to be seen, but wanting to connect with somebody that you like. So is it like a love song in a way?
I think more of like a song for like, a love song to myself, but also a song for like people you don't quite know how to like be your true self with in a way, and like wanted to find a way of like being open and be seen by.
That's so beautiful, honestly. Like, I like that I have that extra like layer of, when I listen to it.
Yeah.
Because what I find with your music, your voice is obviously very, very lovely and very controlled and all that kind of stuff. It's beautiful. But you are very soulful in the way that you write, and your music is very emotionally evoking for people, and I think that's why it's lovely.
Oh, thanks.
And we have a world full of like all sorts of loud types of music, big music, trap, whatever. But it's really nice when people are still creating the stuff that, I don't know, just carries the heart really through, you know, into the world. So thank you for what you do.
Thanks. That's really kind.
I'm also going to play Better Late Than Never. Yeah, I really like this one as well.
Thank you.
So what can you tell me about that?
So this one is actually about my gran, and it's kind of the things I wish I'd said to her. So she had dementia, and it's like about the things that I had wished that I said to her earlier, basically.
Oh my
Sorry
God.
to bring it down.
No, that's fine. Oh,
You
wow.
chose it, so.
No, honestly, these are the kinds of songs that need to be released, you know, because I think that Pepto-Bismol song with Karuk, it says, what do we do with all the things that we don't say to people?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Ooh,
That was the end of that song there. So I think that really ties in quite nicely with that feeling that you had with your grandmother.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you know, it's really important to tell people that you love them, right, while they're here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you.
We're going to wrap it up now, but honestly, it's so great.
Oh, it's been so nice. I feel like we've just had a little catch up.
We have just had a really nice catch up, and hopefully we've got a few more to come over, you know, the next however long. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, not just ladies and gentlemen, but everyone, and everyone. Yeah, it has been Married on the show today. I feel blessed to have you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm really excited for what you do now moving forward, and all of your gigs as well coming up.